Good morning, coolest coast. It's time for coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts. This is Kristin Odell. I'm Tina Prigge. So good to see you. Hi, Kristin.
Good morning, beautiful.
Just coffee and coolness is what we're running on. That's exactly how I feel this morning. Cheers.
I don't even feel like I'm running on coolness today. We had quite the workout this morning, and while I do have some makeup on, this is like natural red cheeks yet from 6 a.m.
From the workout? So that's not tan we're looking at, that's workout glow?
This is workout glow.
Well, it
Yes.
looks good on you. What made today so difficult?
It's getting warmer, so there's a bit more humidity in the air. Like we were all sweating our butts off. It was heavy lifting. And then I just think that the combination of the movements at the end for conditioning was a really good butt kicking.
Do you feel good afterwards?
I will feel good probably in about an hour.
Does it take a lot to replenish your water after that? Like, do you end up drinking like a jug?
I drink some amino acids in water while I'm there, so that has a little bit of protein and essential amino acids in it, which helps kind of keep me going through the morning because it's early. And then yeah, I'll have a protein shake and then water and a lot of coffee in between.
So you can drink coffee while you're working out?
No, I don't drink it till I get home.
Oh, okay. All right.
My darling husband sets the coffee pot up so that when we walk in the door, it's done brewing and I can pour my first cup.
He thinks of everything. He's
Isn't he so
awesome.
great?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, by the way, speaking of great, viewers, join me in wishing Kristin a happy birthday. Now, it was on Thursday, so we're a couple of days late here, but Kristin, how wonderful. Happy birthday.
Thank you, dear. Yes, it was actually Friday. Friday.
And look at how
And
marvelous you guys look.
oh, thanks. You know, birthdays as you get older they look a little bit different. And Grace had a softball game, thankfully at home on Friday night, which was really fun. So we had some family come and friends to watch the game. And then we just did pizza and cake at our house after. And it was really nice.
Now, the cake is something special too. So Cindy says happy birthday. The
Thank you, Cindy.
cake, look at this beautiful cake. This is made by your mom, right?
My mom is the queen of cakes, and at least in our family. So this is her almond white wedding cake. We always call it the almond white wedding cake. I don't know why, other than it has wonderful almond flavoring in it. Like it's the frosting's almondy, the cake is almondy, and it's just so delicious. So
Nice.
I had a
Did
lot of treats over the weekend.
tell us the flowers. Are those frosting flowers or are those real flowers? I can't tell.
They're just artificial flowers that she like washed and put on there to make it look pretty. And then
Oh,
sprinkles.
it looks lovely. Do you eat ice cream with your cake?
I did not because I was so full because we had like pizza and taco dip and deviled eggs and fruit and veggies and like all these amazing things. Like my family was so awesome with bringing sides. So I just feel like we ate all night long. So I just had cake. I did not have ice cream because I just really wanted to enjoy it, but it was so good. And then we had cake on Saturday, and then I might have had a couple of bites of cake on Sunday.
I love hearing you say deviled eggs too. I am a huge fan of deviled eggs.
I love them. Nobody else in my family eats them, so I don't actually make them very often. But my amazing cousin Tyler decided to bring them. He knows I like the protein, and oh, they were so good. And there were 4 left that I got to eat for breakfast on Saturday morning.
Ah, yum. I think deviled eggs might be my favorite way to eat eggs.
That's hard. That would be hard for me to choose because I eat a lot of eggs and I eat them in a lot of different ways.
So if you were going to have eggs right now, how would you want them prepared?
I probably would do. This is what I would do right now. I would probably scramble some eggs up in this little kettle that we have, and then I put a tortilla in the bottom of our cast iron pan, and then I put the eggs on there and a little bit of melted cheese, and I let it like the tortilla get a little crunchy, and then I put it on a plate, and then I usually do a half of avocado and some cherry tomatoes, maybe a little sour cream.
That
That
sounds awesome.
is very satisfying to me.
That sounds very awesome. Although I have to say, from my perspective, eggs scrambled eggs, fried, any typical way you'd make eggs other than like an egg salad, I feel like I can only eat around breakfast time. Like the thought of eggs like that for supper, I just can't really get my mind around. But if it's a deviled egg, I could eat that any time of day or egg salad. Those are my two favorites.
So I can eat eggs any time of day. I love them. We do breakfast for dinner every now and then. And yeah, I will eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh, nice. You know who makes good deviled eggs is my mom. I just wanted to share this
Does
photo because
she?
it was Mother's Day.
Oh,
And I was thinking, yep, while I'm a mom, my mom is like the premium version of mom.
Miss Diane is pretty dang awesome. That's such a great picture.
Thank
You
you.
both just look so full of light and energy, like
Oh,
really beautiful.
thank you. That's so nice to say. Okay, I have one more photo. This one's special because this is 4 generations. So it's my grandma on the far right, then my mom, me, and then my son.
I love
Um,
it.
we just felt so blessed to still all be able to celebrate together.
Oh, I think it's so cute. And like your family, your maternal side, like you don't age. Like, tell our viewers here, how old is your grandma?
She is 95.
Right? She does not look like a day over 70.
Awesome. She was in really good spirits, really spry and spunky. So yeah, she did not it did not feel like hanging out with somebody that was 95 either.
I believe you. I totally believe you. She looks so fab. I mean, you all look fabulous, but man, I hope that I look like that at 95.
Yeah, ditto, right? Like I hope I'm still alive and kicking like that.
Oh, you will be.
Hey, you know, it was interesting. So last week I told you how my cousin brought a whole stack of letters that my grandpa had written during home from service during
Mhm.
World War II. And so we were reading them with my mom and with my grandma. And it was so interesting because my grandma was able to interpret some of the things that he was referencing, right? Like to put it
Mm.
into real context. So, for example, he was asking, oh, he said something like, so I suppose everyone will be enjoying the pickle dance. And we're all like, what? Pickle dance? What's this? And my grandma said, yes, back in the day, people would bring in their harvest of cucumbers. They would take it to the pickling company, and then they would have a big dance for everybody afterwards called the pickle dance. That was a real thing.
Was this in Manitowoc or somewhere else?
I think in Kiwani, like up in that neck of the woods.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. So does anybody else know of like a pickle dance? I have
Feel like we should harvest more so we can do dances more, like pickle dance or apple dance or good morning, Colt. That sounds awesome. I love that.
So then you also have a note that you shared, and you said this is from your dad to your mom. Can you read it? Because it is kind of small on the screen.
Yeah. So Monday, I was working with my mom again, and we found this note tucked in this box. And first of all, my dad was a meticulous speller and handwriter. And the fact that he wrote deer like a reindeer is so funny. Like that, he was doing a play on words there because he would have known that that should not be DEER.
Okay.
Right? So it says, Dear, just a reminder, I plan to change oil in the car today. Be sure you have keys for the van with you. Have a good one. Me. So, like, it's just so cute. My mom was like, Oh, look at your dad's handwriting. Like there's just something about it that's like so heartwarming. And, kind of a fun fact my mom, her career was to be a CNA and she worked every other weekend. So, this was probably a weekend day where my dad was home on Saturday or Sunday and my mom was going to work. And he was just kind of leaving her a little love note, to make sure she took the right vehicle with her. But yeah, I just thought it was so cute. And the other thing is like the traditional handwriting. So we talked about it on those envelopes, just how beautiful it is and how meticulous. And like, the triple hump on the M is like signature cursive, right?
Right, 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 and, it's sad to me because we can read this, but, like, my 20-year-old son, he can't read that. He went through school at the time where they didn't emphasize cursive or teach the kids
Oh my
cursive,
gosh.
so it's like a secret code.
See, my kids they do write in cursive. So they do know what they can read it, but it's just neat to really see like the letter B and be sure. Again, just like the way that that's formed in the flow of letters, it's really cool.
Yeah, like the D in deer The
Yeah.
D in deer actually reminds me of how my mom writes the D in her name, Diane.
Yes, yes. Yeah, just like all those little swoops and lines and things like that. It's just or the H down below, that's another good one. You know, you kinda do that swoop over to get the line across and
Yeah.
yeah. So I just had to share it because we talked about handwriting last week, and then we found this perfect little note in just such good shape, so
Yeah, it's so sweet, and I love how at the end it says "me" with an exclamation point. But, like, when you sent this to me, there was no context, so I'm like, "Who wrote this?"
Yep,
I couldn't tell from what was said or how it was signed who
yep,
wrote this.
yeah, it's so cute. There's my cousin Nicole, she's saying, "Yep, that's Willie, that was my dad." So cute.
Nice. Does your mom recall, did they have some sort of inside joke about deer or anything like that that
I don't know. I think he called her dear, like, "Yes, dear. Okay, dear. Oh, dear," so I just it was a term of endearment. Um, but I laughed when I read it because I'm like, he knew the right tenses of words and the right spelling of words, and so I know that, like, he did that on purpose.
Nice, that it was intentional.
Yeah, isn't it?
That's really a sweet thing to still have.
I know. So,
Hey,
it's again, little treasures.
so did you wanna tell us a joke?
I do wanna tell you a joke. But I want people to tell me what they think the answer should be.
Okay, okay.
So why did the duck and the ducklings cross the road?
Why did the duck and the ducklings cross the road? Okay, let's see your answers in the chat. What do you think? Why did the duck and the ducklings cross the road? Headed towards Superior Discount Liquor. Does that factor into the joke, Kristen?
Yeah,
Is
I
the
feel like there's just something here. We live in Wisconsin, like, they were so cute. First of all, can you imagine being a mom to that many kids?
no. And was it just the mom? There wasn't a dad duck with them?
We didn't see it there, but that doesn't mean he wasn't around, but we were, like, cruising home the other night, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Oh my gosh, look at the ducks," and I, like, was in the passenger seat, and I quick, like, got my phone out, and, they were just so adorable, and then when I looked at the picture, then I'm like, "Oh, wow. Okay, Superior Discount Liquor's in the back." Like, this feels like it needs, a caption.
Yeah, definitely. It totally does. How many ducklings are there? Is it like 10?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
An even dozen. Okay, so why did the duck and ducklings cross the road? Cindy said to get some quackery.
Okay, friends, throw your comments in there. We need help capturing this. Why did the ducks cross the road? Um,
Should we give people a little more time?
yeah.
To get some quackers, quackers.
Hey, by the way, if you watch the show after live, because I know you do, I just saw somebody again at the baseball game Friday night, and she's like, "I love your show with Tina. I'm so glad you guys are back on." So if you watch it on replay, you can still comment. We still see them.
Yeah, yeah, please feel go ahead and comment. You can comment at any time, whether you're watching with us live, or in replay. That's a really good point. Okay, so we'll put that photo back up in a minute as answers kind of come in. Jill says to get to the other side.
Very traditional answer to that question.
I think it was to get the box of donuts.
Um, this looks like a bakery on state box.
It is a bakery on state box, and on the right, those are cronuts, which are pretty much the most amazing bakery ever created.
I so for friends who maybe have not ever had a cronut before, how would you describe it?
A cronut is a croissant-based donut. So it's made like a croissant, but in a donut. So it's light and flaky, and then these in particular are jelly-filled. So
Ooh.
it's just
Love the picture because you can see all those little layers. The one that's kind of stood on its side, you can see all the incredible layers in there. I didn't even know Bakery on State did cronuts.
Yeah. And then those are lemon bars on the left, which
Oh yeah.
huge fan of lemon bars.
When did you have these treats?
This was last week. My cousin was coming to visit. So for 2 people, Jason brought this box. I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Did you have treats for Mother's Day?
We did. My mom baked an apple pie, which
Ooh.
is my favorite.
Did you eat ice cream with it?
No, nope.
So no a la mode.
Oh, Jason said I ate one of the lemon bars. No, you know what? I'm not typically an a la mode. Like, I love ice cream, but I don't want necessarily my ice cream with something.
Yeah. So Tina, we had the pleasure of having dinner with you and Jason last Saturday night. And we had a wonderful dinner at Courthouse, by the way. We all had chicken dishes. They were amazing. And then we had a little round of desserts and we got on a conversation. Now, I don't think we've talked about this on the show, but we learned that you do not like banana cream pie.
I don't. I do not like banana cream pie, and I know I'm, like, alone in that. I don't know anyone else, uh, although, you know what? I'm not sure. I think my mom might not like it as well.
My friend Patty Roth does not eat bananas in pie. She would not ever eat that.
Does she eat bananas just in general?
Nope.
Oh, so no bananas. See, I love bananas. I just don't love banana cream pie, too mushy or something.
So no bananas in dessert.
No, I wouldn't put bananas in dessert.
What if you made pudding and then cut bananas into it?
I think it's the pudding part. I think it's the pudding part.
Your face is so great. Ugh.
I have a couple of other quirks with desserts though too, like nuts. I do not like any kind of nuts in my dessert. I don't
Well,
want
you
like a
but you
parfait with
eat
nuts.
nuts
I don't
separate? Separate?
Sure. Yep.
All
I'm
kinds of nuts?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm good with nuts, just not in my sweets.
What else do we need to know?
Okay, one other thing, ice cream. I love ice cream, but I don't love anything soft mixed into the ice cream. So, like if you get a blizzard or something like that, or like a flavor of the day at Culver's, sometimes it'll have cookie dough or cake pieces or brownie. None of those. Don't like
What about cheesecake?
it.
Your facial expressions today are so good. What about like cookies and cream? What about Mackinac Island fudge where there's like fudge strips?
I'm okay with that.
So that passes as like chocolate.
Yep.
This is so interesting. I asked you on Saturday night, what about waffle cone? Which you were like, there's ice cream with waffle cones in it, which there is.
I'm just not sure why you would do that because you're already eating the cone, and the cone is not the best part about enjoying ice cream. So I don't think I would stick it in my ice cream.
Oh, I love it. The girls and I stopped out at Pine River Dairy on what is today, Wednesday, Monday after school. And again, the scoops are 50 cents now, but it's still like you get a whole cup of ice cream for $1, right? If you have never been out to Pine River Dairy, you need to go there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm surprised the last time I was there, it was 25 cents.
They just changed it. Like the new season, it's different, but it's
Okay.
still so reasonable.
Oh, yeah, right, right.
So like we've got 3 cups of ice cream for $3, not too bad. But we had Blue Moon, Josie had Blue Moon. Nora had a scoop of sherbet and a scoop of cookies and cream, which kind of a weird combination. And I had Rocky Road, which would have nuts in it, and that you would get a fail for that one probably.
Of those 3, I would choose Rocky Road.
Would you?
I
Because
mean,
it's chocolate based.
yes, because it's chocolate-based and I can get around those nuts. Like
There was only a few almonds in there, but it was so good. But we get all our butter out there. Delicious local butter. You can't beat it.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing to have that resource so close.
It is. We're really lucky.
Hey, last week we were talking about Heartorama, and you asked me, Tina, have you ever done Heartorama? When were you in Heartorama? And then across my feed, a photo came up. Now, I don't know what year this is, but this is definitely before I was married. This is before I had kids. So this is when Heartorama was still at Jack's Are Better down in Rapids.
I cannot even pick out which one you are.
Seriously?
Like, Tina sent me this picture yesterday, and I looked and looked and looked at it, and I'm like, I don't feel like you're on the right.
I'm not on the right. Nope.
But then I'm just like, I don't know.
I'm in the middle.
Are you?
Yep.
The
I know it's the chest hair that distracts you, but
It almost looks like you also gave yourself some belly hair, like, in your belly button.
yeah, I think this is right before, so one of the artists, and I don't have a picture of it here, before the show painted an actual ship on my belly. That's why my belly is exposed. It's supposed to look like this huge ship tattoo. So
Can you please tell us, do you remember what were these characters?
it was something from South Pacific. We
Okay.
went out and sang a song from South Pacific. And you know what? The song is lost to me now. Somebody might recall.
And who are your castmates there? Do you remember?
I don't. The girl on the left, was only in Manitowoc a short time. She was hilarious, and I'm not sure who the person on the right is.
Okay, so if you recognize these people, you have to help us out, right?
Yeah,
Somebody can
please.
ID them.
I feel like I almost but, because of the mustache and everything, I'm just not sure. Just like you couldn't recognize me.
The chest hair on the person on the left is very Austin Powers,
Yes.
but so good and so much fun. My mom and my sister and my other aunt went out and volunteered at Heartorama, serving beverages and stuff, I think last Thursday night, and they had such a good time. And that was my first time my mom had ever, I think, gone out there, and they just had a blast supporting that event.
So she was a Heartorama virgin? That's awesome.
I think so. I know my sister was. Hmm.
Very nice. So
Yep.
they saw, like, the best seat in the house being auctioned off and everything?
Yeah. Yeah. Just fun. It's just really good stuff. I'd love to hear how, I don't know if they like publish how the event was or how they did, but it would just be neat to hear about how things turned out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Mary Hamachek is watching, but Mary, if you have any details, maybe you can follow up with us, like, next
That's
week or put a comment.
Yep. My mom, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, she must have gone because she just said it was still very nostalgic because they always had like popcorn and stuff on the tables and just like the format of it. Going all the way back to like when it was at Jack's Are Better. She just said she remember it was very nostalgic for her to like be there. So
Okay, so she remembers the Jacks Are Better experience.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. Hey, let's see. So I was watching something and they used the term pusillanimous. And I was like, what? I couldn't even get my mind around, even though I had the context. Like, what did that mean? And when I looked it up, doesn't the definition perfectly suit like how this word sounds?
Yes, I would not have said puce,
Oh, how would you say
puss,
it?
based on what I believe the shortened version of this word is.
So do you think that's where the shortened version comes from?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
I think you're right.
Um, so is it, I believe you if it's Pews. I didn't listen to it. Did you listen to it?
You know what? I only heard in the program I was watching how they said it, but it was a British character that said it. So
Mm,
their pronunciation of it might be different than how we'd pronounce it.
right. I just can't imagine being like, would you quit being so pusillanimous?
Your behavior is quite pusillanimous.
It's a lot to get. That's a lot to get out.
It is, yeah, it's a big word,
Okay.
which
Tell me
makes me
where
understand the shortened form.
starts with a P, ends with a Y, has two consonants in the middle. You get the idea. Where did you see this word?
Oh, what was I watching? I was watching Oh, haha, I was watching a show called Staged, and it has David Tennant and Michael Sheen, and they recorded it during COVID. So
Mm,
it's literally like the two of them on their Zoom calls with each other, and they're trying to figure out like how do we pass the time? Like we're actors. This lockdown is terrible. Let's do a show. How about if we rehearse it over Zoom? And so just it's this whole in-depth look at like what we were going through during COVID, right? Like how they just talk to each other, how sometimes they just sit there and like be looking off into the distance, right? While they're there.
oh, I love that.
Sometimes they'd get up and walk away, and all of a sudden the wife would walk by and be like, hello? And then she'd sit down and she'd strike up a friendship with the other guy's wife, and it was really
That's
cute. They were
you
actually arguing over the billing, right? David Tennant was saying, "I should be first on the poster." Michael Sheen said, "I should be first because Sheen comes before Tennant." And David Tennant said, "Yeah, but David comes before Michael." And Michael's like, "But that's not how it's done." And so, like, before every it was a series, before every series would start, based on their last argument about that, it would either say David Tennant first and then Michael Sheen, or it would say Michael Sheen and then David Tennant.
How
But
did we
anyway,
ever decide that it should be coffee with Kristin and Tina?
what's that?
How did we ever decide that it should be coffee with Kristin and Tina?
You know what? At first it was moms in lockdown.
It was Moms in Lockdown.
And then we were no longer in lockdown.
Praise the Lord.
And so did we just start calling it that?
I think maybe in time it just switched because we were still drinking coffee and still visiting. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a memory pop up yesterday, and it was like all three girls have a Google Meet at the same time, grabbing a quick cup of coffee. And I had pictures of each of the girls in their Google Meets, and it was from May 13th, 2020. And I like almost had this like traumatizing flashback to that moment. And I thought, what a gift that must have felt to have like a 15-minute window where all three girls were like entertained on a device for that little bit of time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to remind ourselves of how what that whole experience was like.
Right. Right. Just it was wild to look back on it. It was so cute to look at their little faces because like 5 years ago, they were little, little, little.
Yeah. Yeah, and so for all of them to be occupied at the same time, that must have felt amazing.
It was amazing. It was very cute.
Okay, let's see. I think we've got another word. Uh, oh, laudable. You said this was on Josie's spelling list.
Yes, laudable. And she also had audible and audio and like all these words. And the first night we looked at her list, she said, it's not pronounced laudable. It's pronounced audible. The L is silent. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not right. So I did what any good mom does. I Googled it and I played it for her and she's like, fine. So then I'm like, I said, do you know what this word means? And she's like, I don't need to know it. I just need to know how to spell it.
Oh no.
Which she's maybe not wrong. In this case, the goal is the spelling words, but like ideally she can use it in a sentence, right?
And sometimes knowing the meaning helps you retain the spelling. It gives
100.
it a different flavor. Well, can I say that's very laudable of you that you went through that process with her?
Yes, thank you. Can you put that definition up one more time?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is an action, idea, or goal deserving praise or commendation. So like laudable through the aim might be, or the results have been criticized. Yeah. So it's basically giving kudos, like
Yeah.
something that was really good.
Yeah. Like Heartorama, I didn't see it this year, but I imagine their performance was laudable. What they're doing, raising funds, that is laudable.
Yes. Grace's fast pitch game on Monday night was extremely laudable. She had wonderful hits.
Nice. See, that's a great word to just work into conversation.
Yeah. And it's easy to pronounce. Like laudable, I can use.
Yeah. How about this one? I saw this in a book I was reading, and I'm like, subfusc? Like, is this an abbreviation? I thought maybe the word got truncated or cut off, or like I was like checking, did it get rubbed away? Like this couldn't be the whole word. And I looked it up and it really is the whole word.
Yeah,
Have you ever heard this before?
it looks like there's too many consonants.
Yeah.
Subfusc.
Yeah. I think it's strange that it ends in the C.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Um, and like I was looking at like the word breakdown. So like the sub is like below, like dark, which makes sense with kind of this.
Yeah. And what about the fusc?
I feel like it was light, like not light or below light, or
Oh.
so like when I searched it, this kind of reference to clothing came up, meaning like graduation garb and like formal clothing traditionally was like black or dark brown or just very
Okay.
interesting. How was it used
So
where
like
you saw it?
this is not subfusc.
but I might be representing subfusc today. Although I
Um,
do have blue pants on.
nice, nice. Yeah, it was talking about a character and her choice of sweater and skirt was a bit subfusc for the occasion she was
Mhm.
attending.
Yeah, perfect. So that would be dark or gloomy or not bright.
Yeah. What a
Subfusc.
great word.
Yesterday's weather was subfusc.
It was. It was. Good use of it.
I do not think that I retain these words after we talk about them. Like, I want to. I have good intentions of it. I really don't know if they stay.
What was the one word? It was a couple of weeks ago. I felt like I rocked that into a couple of conversations.
But this is my point. We cannot remember
I
them.
know, what was the word? It was the one about language, right? Like, we showed the sweet tarts last week. What was that word?
I think that it was a word that was very long and I could not pronounce it, which makes it worse.
Huh.
Like
Hmm.
laudable or subfusc, you might hear me say those again because I feel like those are easier to
Nice.
pronounce.
Nice. Okay, Kristen, before we wrap up, we need an answer to the joke. Why did the duck and ducklings cross the road?
I mean, I feel like we're in Wisconsin. They went to get a cocktail or a drink, right?
A quacktail.
A quacktail, there we go. Or a bag of ice.
Laudable, laudable.
I think my favorite answer was Quackers because you can get snacks.
Snacks, yeah,
You can get
definitely.
snacks at the at Superior.
So I don't know if I can use it this way, but I would say having a conversation with you is anything but subfusc.
Hmm. I give you a heart for that. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us this morning. You've been watching Coffee with Kristen and Tina. This is Kristen Odell. I'm Tina Prigge. We'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.